There we go. Now you can hear me. Okay, no one could hear me for a very long time. Okay, well, I gotta... Hey, look what you did, Zelda. You distracted me. Okay, so what we're gonna be up to today is working on a little bug that's been plaguing the game for a while now, specifically videos of the game. And it's not necessarily a bug, but well, I mean, it is a bug, but it's more of a visual inconsistency, and it's the shadows that are on the characters. And now, right now, the shadows that are on the characters are part of the spine objects, which are not, they're not layered properly. Their depth isn't sorted correctly, and that's because they're attached to the player. So they're on the upright depth sorting, and they need to be on the ground. And when they're on the ground, they should basically always be underneath everything, right? But when you look at some of these videos, and let me see if I can get a good frame, because like I said, it's not a huge issue, but it's there sometimes. Let's mute this. Specifically when things are flying through the air. Okay. And it might be hard to actually find one. But basically the shadow. There we go. I just saw it. Or what did it go? Okay, right here. Okay. You can see here where the shadows here do not look good. So like specifically right here, not good. Here, not good. Right there, not good. Just because of that overlap that's here and the overlap that's here. So, you know, this guy who's flying through the air should not be projecting a shadow that's on the forehead of another enemy. I would like to keep it pretty much all on the ground. And I'm actually kind of curious how that one even got to. Yeah, this is a very weird one. But yeah, I'm not really sure. But either way, I'm going to try to solve this by decoupling the shadow texture, not using the one in the spine project at all anymore, and coupling it to and then creating a new shadow texture which attaches itself to the bone of the shadow on the character, which does scale through the animation. And that's important because the scaling of the shadow shows how high the character is from the ground and as he falls down to the ground, right? So we want to make sure that that information is still communicated to the player, but we also want to make sure that that shadow remains on the ground and therefore the readability is a little more clear. Now, there's only a couple enemies that currently use shadows. It's these guys here and then the boss in the demo. All right. So we're really just going to be concerned with the Higus right now, though. Let's use this zone. Okay. So we want to bring in a bunch of those characters. And so let's actually create a game object to put them in. And we'll go to characters, primitives, Higu, standard, prefabs. Actually, you know what? I gotta remember I need to bump up the resolution so y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay, cool. So, all right. So we're gonna do Bloody Higu, and we're just gonna put them. We're gonna slap them down, and nest them in there, and then let's just create a bunch of them. We need a bunch of them so we can have them jump, and we can ensure that. Actually, you know what? I'll have a group over there, but then I'm gonna create one that's just over here so we can choose whether we want to handle a whole group or we can do one at a time. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. So let's. Where do we want to start with this? Let's actually have this guy be the one that we implement the change on. And he's going to be... Okay, so we're probably going to put the new shadow here under appearance. And I imagine somewhere we actually have a shadow like actually this background shadow. Let's see where generic shadow material, shadow texture. So that's, I don't think that's the shadow texture we want. See, if we go to main characters here, there is a shadow that I use specific. Oh, you know what? It probably is still that shadow texture, actually, now that I think about it. And I use background shadow texture. I'm wondering if the shadow texture I use for these characters here, the main ones, are just two different versions of that same shadow. Let's look. So background shadow and ground shadow. Let's select the asset of ground shadow. Oh, it's not a prefab. This one's a prefab. All right. Shadow texture. Okay, so it is all that same. All right. So let's pull this in. There we are. And it's upright, which is not what we want. So we're going to type 90 there. And what we want this to be on the, yeah, where's the texture here? We want this to be on the ground. Let's actually confirm what we do with these characters, because see how he has a dark shadow there? That's what we want. Shadow texture. Okay, we do put it on the ground. And I wonder what we do to make sure that it doesn't ever... How do we ensure that we're never under... The shadow's never under grass or something? Huh. Yeah, it's not that. Huh. I'm actually a little curious. I'm curious to run this actually and see the shadow below the character, because I feel like there would be draw issues of the type that we're trying to solve right now. So let's take a look. Okay, so we definitely see it. It doesn't matter where it is. Okay, so let's actually take a look at it and try to understand what's creating the sorting on that. Ground shadow. So there is no Y. Let's try to move it a little and see if it, oh yeah, it disappears. Huh. I feel like that would be very, very fragile. What is the depth of this? Okay, so we're at 0005. And the reason that this is working is because the character is at 0009. That's funny. So basically 001. I feel like we probably should even increment that to 0.01 so that it's always higher. And like, yeah, it'll be lifted up off the ground, I think. 0.02. If we get in there, there's the walls are in the way. Like, see it. That's annoying. There we go. Yeah, so if we had it at like 0.01, it would be there, and okay, it would be perfect. So that's actually a change I'm going to make right now, just because that's, I feel like, a very fragile way of the way I had it, and I want to make sure that it never really breaks. So we'll put it on this one, 0.01. And so let's actually copy this, and that'll be the one that we bring in. And let's actually just paste it right there. We did it. Okay, apparently I didn't copy it. Copy. Paste. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so the dimensions are way off on that. There it is. Okay, cool. So we want to make sure that it's roughly the same size as the Ahigu here, and it does look about. However, we could probably, let's unlink that. Let's make it 1 for depth. Oh, this is the, okay. Why is that? Okay, so let's make it 1 for depth, and let's make it 2 for width. Okay. So that is good. It's a little higher than the ground, I think. Oh, is it? Yes, it should be. Yes, okay, it is. Cool. So now what we're gonna do is we're probably gonna put a bone follower on this, and that way it can scale with the scale of the bone of the shadow. So I think it's time to open up spine, which is what drives that. So that's in source, spine. Let's open that up. Yeah, I'll be right back. Let me make sure my stream stuff's all up the way it should be. Okay. Trying the multi-stream thing again. Meow. Meow. Okay. Okay. Trying the multi-stream thing again. Meow. Meow. Chat box. It's annoying. The chat box doesn't refresh when I delete a message. Okay, anyways. So, somewhere here there's a shadow, and I'm really hoping that it's attached to a bone. Because that's what we're gonna need it to be. There it is. Okay. Let's see. All right. Shadow. Shadow. There it is. It is part of a it's on a slot. I feel like that means, yeah, how does, okay, so how does the shadow look at the lunge. Okay, here's where we, okay, there it is. Okay, so you can see here the shadow scales with the jump. And it's done through a deform, which is unfortunately not what we want. Okay. Which is unfortunate. We have to see where we do shadow stuff. I think we only do shadow stuff on 8 animations, which isn't terrible. Yeah, okay. So we have some spine stuff to do, some animation stuff to do. Okay. The first thing we'll want to do then is, instead of deforming this texture, and by the way, deforming, I believe, is pretty expensive. I think it's cheaper to actually do it through bones anyway, so it's good to be changing this. And it looks like a very uniform deform as well. I'm not super familiar with deformation. Like keyframing it in spine, it's a little bit more complicated. Okay. I almost want to duplicate so we don't ruin it while we're trying to do it. But boop. And then it goes down to there. All right. All right, so there's a little bit of a Okay, we don't want the deformed mouth. We want the deformed shadow. So it's only these two. So it sets it here and then it shrinks it down. Huh, let's look at the graph on this one. Okay. Can I not view that? Can I just view that? Okay. So the curve on this is kind of interesting. We'll have to remember that. Because at the end, it kind of, that's where he's like kind of hovering in the air. So the slope, that's like kind of the slope of his height, right? And that's where we want to, that's how we want to scale the shadow as well. Okay. I wonder, the thing is that I don't understand is it just like this? Okay, yeah, just auto keyframes. Okay. So I feel like the size of the shadow is let's do far lunge right. And select shadow again. So that's the full size. So it starts pretty small as it is, and then like that. Okay. But it doesn't really matter what the size is here because we're going to set the size to the proper place. It's more about the relative scaling. So this is at 1 and it looks like it's like, I don't know, 75% at that point, and then it goes back to 1, which is interesting because I feel like, what was the one I was just looking at? That one looks like almost half. Okay. All right, you know what? I don't think it matters that much. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add that bone. Where did you go? So new bone, and we'll call it shadow. All right. And then we'll pull the shadow in. Actually, let's give this an icon. Give it a dark icon there. Man, these bots are ruthless today. Get out of here. Mm. Okay. So we want to put the shadow into that bone. There it is. Okay, cool. Now we want to simulate on every single one of these a what the shadow is, the shadow bone is doing. So let's actually keyframe the scale at the beginning and the end of the animation to be 1. We're only scaling. We'll set it to 1 here as well. And here's where we want to look at that deform again. All right. So I think that we just really need to set the deform, set the scale to the second one here. Let's set a scale here, and that's it. So here, let's just set it to 0.5. 0.5. All right, so it's gonna look really small in the editor here now because of how we're doubling up on the deforming and the scaling, but that will change in a moment here. All right, so we want to simulate the same kind of curve where it goes steeper like that and through there. So let's highlight these 2 keyframes and then hit this button. All right, so we can steepen the curve there, and I would say like that's probably good. And then here's the same thing. We're gonna draw it out like that, and that's probably good. Okay, so now we can go back here and we can erase the deform. Okay, I think that's good. Now you might notice it's a little large now, and that's fine. It's more, actually we want it to be the full size here, because that is what's going to, there we go. Also, we don't need to show the shadow. We don't need to do anything with the shadow. Yeah, we can delete it once we've set it up. Okay. And if we need to ever view it, we just hit this button here, and then there we can. That's interesting there, though. Do we have like a, we have a translate on this thing? Hold up. What's going on? Oh. I think I only did it. I think I only made that curve for one of the axes. Yes. We have to make them both the same. Oops. There we go. No, they're the same. So, try it again. Cool. All right. I like it. So, we can delete the shadow, and since we can actually copy this over to the other animation, which is just the shorter version of it, the in-use one. And let's just copy this, and we'll be able to push this all the way down there, and now we're back to the right one. Yep, and as you can see, it works. So we'll be able to delete that again. Yeah, I mean, it does. Yeah, it does. Okay, yeah, the curve looks really good. All right, now we have 3 more sets to do, and honestly, we can probably just again paste it in. It looks, I mean, that actually looks right. So let's just go ahead and delete this. Yeah, honestly, I think it works. We could probably get away with one thing I just remember though, we didn't take away the other shadow stuff here, so we can delete that. We can delete that. We can delete all of this here. So now, oh, well, I made it so it was invisible, but I turned it on just for a moment. There we go. Hey, what's up, El Chapo? You think there's a chat is lagging when I type up in the chat? We have a bug. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a bug on my side. Maybe a bug on Twitch's side, but all that stuff I don't control. But hey, welcome. Good to see you. We're working on some shadow stuff. We're bringing it into, so normally the shadow, no, it works. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I actually had, oh, my snipping tool went away. Meow meow meow. I know. Where is? Okay, here we go. So what I'm trying to solve today is the issue of how the shadows are attached to the character and go on top of other characters. So instead of using the shadow that's in spine in the actual character animation, we're hiding it and then using the bone in the animation to drive a separate shadow that's actually a game object in the game to do that for it, and then that will be on its own layer and it'll all look good. So that is what we're up to right now, and I just have to clean up the animation a little, the spine project to do that. So, and all right, we got that one. So copy this, go here, paste, highlight this, and slide it down. It lines up perfect. So we can delete the deformation here. We delete the RGBA shadow there. And now, yep, that looks right. Okay, cool. So now what I do is I remove the visibility of the shadow in the animation. Doing great. Good. Glad to hear. I am doing well as well. I'm excited to get some development done today. I was actually working on the Discord server earlier today, and trying to make it look a little nicer and clean it up and all that. So I boosted it, and so we have some of the fanciness on it. Zelda, what's wrong, kitty? She needs her cheeks scratched. Oop, sorry about that. Thank you. Yeah, the different. Okay, so what's the difference between a hard shadow and a soft shadow? Well, it really has to do with the fall off of the edge of the texture. Hold up. You can't do that. No. It has to do with the fall off of the edge of the texture. So right here, this is actually a hard shadow, because you see it's like a steady black throughout the entire shape of it. Oh. Then if we go over here, you can see this shadow that actually I'm using in the game. See how it actually, let's actually look at it this way. See how it fades off to the side like this, where it extends a little bit further. So the actual edge of the texture is all the way out to here, but there is this steep fall off that you get. And so this would be more of a soft shadow. And yeah, there's a hard shadow in this one, but we're not going to use we're actually not going to use the shadow that I'm using right now in this tool. But what we're doing with this though is we're setting the scale of it as it travels. And then we are going to hook that bones scale up to the in-game shadow, and that's going to do it for us. So we just got a couple more to do here. We're lucking out that I can just copy and paste these to each of these, and it works. No. So I just copied, pasted it again, and yep. Looks good. Okay. Do I use Photoshop on a daily basis? Yeah, I do. I mean, not every single day, but yeah, there's a lot of there is a lot of days that I use it. It is my main tool for manipulating textures. Now, not every day do I do texture work, but if I'm doing texture work, then I am using Photoshop. So if I bring up Photoshop, all of my characters are done in Photoshop. And so these are some new enemies I've been working on. Flying enemies, which also have some shadows here, hard shadow here. And we're going to do the same thing with these characters once we get to them. So that's another reason that is a big reason that I'm doing this shadow fixing. So, you know, the depth sorting on the shadows. That's why I'm fixing it right now, because soon we're going to have these flying enemies and we need to make sure that the shadows work properly. Okay. There. Now we'll go here. Paste that in. We're gonna slide this down. Then we going to, oh, there's actually another thing that I needed to do to all of these, but we'll do them after. There we go. Okay, cool. So now we can delete these things. How does it feel when you work on two things, software development and game dev? How do you balance? Well, do you mean how do I balance between my day job of software development and then my game dev here, or the actual tasks in the game development? I mean, in terms of my job, that's, I mean, the way I balance that is I just kind of cut it off during the day. You know what I mean? I have the hours during the day that I work my day job, and I have the days that I work my day job. So like, I just kind of block it off, and I try to stay focused during that time that I'm doing my day job, and I do my day job, you know, first thing in the day. So that does, you know, have to take priority. And but once I'm done with that, so like for instance today I ended my day job around, I don't know, 4 or 5 or something like that. I usually try to get up at 8 a.m. and then, you know, do an 8, 9, sometimes 10-hour day work, and then afterwards I just switch over, and then I work this. Now one more. There is another thing we're gonna have to do here. I'll get to that after. I'm just gonna finish up the scaling stuff. So looks good. Yep. All right, perfect. And delete this. Delete that. Bring it over for this last one here. Drag the keyframes over to match. Test. Looks good. Then we can delete this. All right. Okay, we're good now. So now the other thing we need to do is we need to create an event. We need to create 2 events. One is going to be called show shadow. And the other one is going to be called hide shadow. Okay. And easy enough, exactly the way it sounds. We are just going to trigger it when we need to show it. So we show it here. We boom, and then we hide it here, and boom. All right. So we can now believe we can copy this. Or is it going to be? It's going to be difficult. All right. It's being very annoying right now. Let's see if we just copy this like this, and then did that work? Did not work. Did not work. Okay, it's okay. We'll just manually do it. Show, hide, show, hide. Also, we got a little sneaky rotate here. Got rid of that. Developers sleep. I don't have that in my dictionary. Yeah, I do sleep. I do though. It's pretty much all the other things I kind of neglect, which isn't always good. but I do try to get 8 hours every day, and I don't always. I normally always get at least 6. It's rare that I get less than 6, but I mean, it happens sometimes. The show, then hide. Show and hide, and last one here. We've done it. So now we can export. Hopefully all the settings are correct. Nope, they're not. All right, let's see. Primitive, Higu, standard, source, unity, select. There we go. Are there any events you'll be going to in the future? Yeah, I have another Comic-Con that's coming up in just under a month here. That's in Elmira, New York. It's called the Twin Tiers Comic-Con. It's probably it's a smaller event, but it's fun. This one is, so I did an anime event, anime convention. I did a retro video game convention, and now I'm doing a Comic-Con. So it'll be interesting. I'm kind of covering all the bases here. This one's definitely the smallest one though, and it's only 2 days, which I'm actually kind of happy about, and that way I can just kind of take it easy. But after that, I will be taking a break from events for probably almost a year. I won't be doing anything until maybe late next year or something. So I just need to focus on the game, actual development. You know, it's been fun to do these, and it's helped to build a community. But it's time I start focusing on the game. I got a lot of good feedback from those events, and now it's time to do what I must. All right. Okay, cool. So here's what we do now. Imported that. Oh, that's the background. We want the ground one. Okay, here we go. All right, so I think we need to do some scripting now, maybe. Actually, no, first we're going to add a bone follower, I think. Can I do that? How do I do this? Bone followers. So basically your main job has nothing to do with your game dev, right? Yeah, that's right. I am a software engineer by day for a company. And you know, for that reason, I don't actually say who I work for, just because it's really supposed to be a you know, kept separate. You know, the bots are going crazy today. They're just burying everything. All right. Hold on a second. I'm getting sick of this. How do I... I don't know if I can... I'm trying to do multi-streaming, and I was doing it a little while ago and it was doing all right, but now it's like getting some crazy bots. All right, well, whatever. I'm just not gonna multi-stream ever again. Can I? Yeah, I can't do it individually. Just dumb. But yeah, I mean, I learn a lot of things from both my jobs that help me in them for both of them. It goes both directions, but no, they do have nothing to do with each other in terms of what I do day to day. Oh, you know what I am gonna do? Can I? Nope, I can't do that. Stream. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out this multi-streaming thing. Yeah, it might be just stuck. Okay. I'm stuck for this stream. Okay, so we want a bone follower on the ground shadow. And we'll drag in the skeleton renderer. All right, so we're not following position, we're not following rotation, we're only following scale. And we're gonna attach it to the shadow bone. Awesome. Okay, cool. I think that's it. And actually, let's apply this change to all of them. So we've applied it to the prefab, and now they all should be doing what they're doing. What they gotta be doing. Okay. So, okay, so you can see his shadow is actually enabled right now. And honestly, we might even just keep it always enabled. Maybe I don't need those events. Maybe I don't need the extra computation. The shadow doesn't look bad. It actually looks good. Like, it makes them look like they're sitting on the ground. I actually might keep it this way. And we might just be done with this, but let's see. Oh, it worked perfect. Did you see it? Do it again. Come on. Lunge at me. Come on. Let's go. Do it. All right. Yeah, that did it. All right. Now, so here's what I'm actually gonna Level up my movement speed a little bit. Yes, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we've done it. First try. I do it every time. First try. You've been here long enough to know that I do it first try every time. Okay, now we're pretty fast. So I'm actually going to I'm gonna save this. Screenshots. Okay. Well, actually, wait, no, we didn't need to do that. I'm gonna record for a moment here. See if we can reproduce that issue that we had and make sure that it all. Okay, here we go. Come on. Oh, I can already tell that it works, but it'll be cool to look through the video. Yes, that's it. That's it right there. That's what we want to see. All the shadows are on the ground. Come on, let's go. Dash, dash, dash. Hit me. Come on. Okay, let's stop it there. Now let's actually look at this. Do you think you were coding, I mean, like a lot back then or now? I don't know. I mean, in terms of coding, see right there, that's perfect. That's what I was looking for right there. In terms of my day job, I used to code a lot more just because now I mean, with engineering, it's a little different than just coding because you do a lot of other things like requirements and design and all that. And then also some companies like to do like code modeling and yeah, it's like coding was actually kind of like a small thing that I did at my job. I mean, I've done a lot of it, right? I've had my job for 12 years, so I've done a lot of coding, but and then in terms of the game, I think I do just as much coding on the game that I've always done. It's always been like a pretty much the same balance of animation, art, and coding and sound and all that stuff that I always normally do. What a good kitty cat. All right, but that's what I wanted to see right there. All of the shadows are on the ground. Yeah, beautiful. And the other thing is I actually kind of like that they have shadows around them all the time. Because it kind of gives a little bit of a occlusion. In fact, the shadows could be moved forward just a tiny bit to give a full occlusion. So I'm going to do that next. So what we can do here then is we can remove the events of hide shadow and show shadow because we don't need them. And this is great. It's less we have to do now. Cool. So let's export it again so we have the right one. This was a fast one to fix. Only took me an hour, which is nice. I do have another character I should do it for. All right, so let's actually go back in and let's take a look at this. So it's a little bit of an optical illusion because right now he's stood up straight and during the game he's like angled. So it's really hard to know for sure where this should be. but let's like put it there. And then we'll play the game and just look at what it looks like. Oh, yeah, that's a little better. A little better, yeah. I feel like he's... It's like, could probably shrink it just a tiny bit. I don't know. It's... Or like the depth is a little... Huh. It's hard to tell. Let me get some aggro here. Wait, did it not apply to them? Hold up. I feel like it didn't apply to the others. It applied to him. Let me take a look at these guys over here. They should have inherited it from the prefab. Actually, for some reason it didn't look like it though. Ground shadow. Oh yeah, they have like a... Oh yeah, this is overridden for some reason. Revert. That's so weird. Alright, let's revert all of these. There, okay. That's so weird. I never touched them. Okay. So let's actually look at this again. I've got an idea project, hear me out, but I think it's gonna take a while to map it out. Oh yeah? Yeah, let me know what you're thinking, what you're up to. It can't be as long as my project. I mean, maybe it could, but all started an idea for me like 5 years ago or so. I swear, whenever I start streaming, I just get extremely hungry. It doesn't matter how long I've been streaming for, or how recently I've eaten. The moment I start, I'm like starving. Okay, it does look like it's actually a little too forward. So what we're gonna do here is actually... All right. We can't get too close or else we'll aggro him. I could probably shut him down. Where's his behavior? All right, I should be able to. Yep. Okay. Let's get in there. Actually, wait. We probably. I don't know. Ground shadow. Let's just zero it. Negative 0.5 is probably a good one. Okay. And then I'm gonna play with his X a little bit. There. So like 2.25. Yeah, okay. I can't reach what you've built. You're building a legacy, man. I appreciate you saying that. I hopefully, I don't know, we'll see. Building something big like this is hard, and I've been trying, and we'll see where it goes. But I'm not going to give up though either until it's done. But I appreciate you. Okay, so all right, and then these guys, did they? All right, let's see what they did. All right, I think the shadow is going to look good now for everybody. Because, whoa, 5 years, in 5 years, I can conquer an island. Yeah, it's, yeah, I mean, time goes by fast, though. That's the other thing. It doesn't feel like that long for me. Just the last 5 years in general have felt like they've just completely flown by. Okay, I actually really like it. It like gives them occlusion. Oop. Zelda, look what you made me do. I have to sneeze. You don't use AI right on your game? Yeah, so no, not really. In terms of like anything that's creative, art, sound, music, anything like that, I don't use AI. Now, sometimes I will, like for coding and stuff, consult, ChatGPT in the same way you would consult like Google, right? Like if I'm having trouble like figuring out I don't know, like there's times there are times that I've like discussed things with like ChatGPT in terms of more of like a discussion, or if there's like some really just simple coding tasks that like for instance, one of the things that I think is helpful is like inspector scripts in Unity. Like I've had ChatGPT make an inspector script for me before, but not really. And the other thing is, it's like I feel like AI is one of those things where it's much more useful in the hands of a professional rather than someone trying to use it for something that they don't know how to, like, they don't know the craft. So it's just like I can consult, I could try to have like AI like code something, and I could take what it gives me and be like, okay, I see what you did there, but that's wrong. Whereas like someone who doesn't know coding won't be able to tell that. So to be completely honest, most of the time it's not worth using. I have used it for some small things, just like time saver things with coding, like just the real grunt work. Like I'll be sitting here for an hour copy pasting something, something like that. But that's like really the limit of what I've used it for. I don't use it for any art, any like I definitely draw the line at like creative stuff. And honestly, like it just can't handle, it's just not there yet. Like I don't even know. I don't know how people are making games with AI. Like I don't really get it, because the code in my game is so complicated and the systems are so deep. I don't even like, because AI all works with like tokens and like the whole memory of it. I feel like that its memory and its contextual memory isn't deep enough to handle something like this. And then with art, it's like you know what I mean? Like I have like there's certain ways that I need to do the art. That's just, it's the only way that I could do it. So yeah, like even if I wanted to use AI on this, I don't think it's possible, other than like, a thing here or there, but yeah, like I've had it help me with scripts here and there, but for the most part, I write the overwhelming majority of all the code still. And I mean, that's the thing I'm good at too. That's the thing I really know how to do well. Yeah, there's this AI in Unity now in the editor. It's here, and I thought it would be interesting to like try, because it would be like, because it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, it's more of just like a time saver in the editor, right? Like for instance, say these ahigus here were like spread all out through here, and like searching them, there's only like some that were enabled or some that were disabled, and yeah, it's like remove all objects. So here's an example: remove all objects that are further than 20 units from the selected object. And here's the thing, I don't think it'll do that correctly. Like I've tried it, it sucks. So here's what I'm gonna do. Actually, I'm gonna take the first, let's try something here. I'm gonna take the first 10 ahigus here, and I'm going to turn them off. And then I have these ones that are still enabled. And so let's see if what we can do. Let's give it a little test. Delete any ahigu characters that are disabled. So we should only be left with this one, and then 10 through 14. Let's see if it works. I'll close this up. I'll put the cursor over there. All right, let's see. I mean, that's an extremely easy task. I would hope that it can do this. What? It didn't do it. It just gave me a script to do it. Oh, well, that's completely useless. See this is what I'm talking about. Like I thought that it actually interacted with the editor. That's like so much more useless. It just gave me a. Yeah, no, I'm wrong about the AI. Apparently it's, well, no, I knew it was gonna, I said that it probably was gonna be useless, but yeah, it's even more useless than I thought. Yeah, and it's just like, okay, like sure, like yeah, you know, making a script like okay, for instance, say I needed a script like this, yeah, that would have saved me like 5 minutes, but I didn't want to do it with a script anyway, you know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, so yeah, it's I downloaded Unity 6 to give this a try, and I remember now, I forgot until now. I do remember at the time realizing it didn't interact with the, and I feel like it's really misleading too, right? Because the way that it had that example prompt, like move all objects that are further than the selected object. Okay, I'm just gonna do the example. Boom. It's gonna give me a script again, huh? You thought that it would interact? Yeah, I thought too. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Oh, it gives a... Okay, hold on a second. Maybe I'm misunderstanding this. It's giving an editor script that can be run in place. Ah, okay. I understand now. So hold up. Let's go back. And then we say run. So this is the one that I asked it to before. So maybe it's like a two-step process. Oh, it's saying, what do I want to run? Okay. All right, hold up. We got to do all this over again. So we do a slash run that. Let's start a new one. See if it works. Command logic. Okay, so it writes an editor script, and in place it will run it. Let's hit run. Deleting disabled. No Ahiku characters were found. Okay. And see, that's the thing. I was intentionally vague with what I was referring to in the characters. Also, I'm just realizing I'm looking at this script. This script doesn't do anything. This... What? Hold on, let's look at this. Wasting my time now, but I am actually curious. See, here it made a script. How did it word it? Task. Remove all. This logic is useless. This doesn't do anything. It literally only prints a warning message saying that there's no... That's crazy. That's terrible. I feel like in the first one it gave logic. Yeah. Objects containing a Higu. Also, by the way, not really what I wanted. I kind of wanted it to like know, like see, because there might be some objects that contain Ahigus. I said characters. Or it could have seen that, it could have known that there was a script on it called Ahigu, which inherits from character, but like we all know it's not that smart. Someday it probably will be that smart, you know, in all honesty, but I don't know. Either way, yeah, it's struggling. It's not worth using. Cause yeah, I mean, there's definitely been times like certain lights where it's like, I want to like turn off, or I want to like change certain properties about certain lights in a scene. And it's like, and it's not even about having AI do it for you. It's like, it's more about like being able to do it in the first place. Cause there's certain things with like filtering in the Unity hierarchy that's really challenging. So that was like, what actually, like I was actually hoping this could do stuff like this easily, because there's plenty of times where I've wanted to manipulate properties about certain scripts in the scene that were like either really hard to filter down to and find, or yeah, so like there's easy use stuff like that I wish was baked into the editor and making it easier, but yeah, I don't know, either way. Whatever. I try to be pragmatic about AI. Like I said, my line is where you know, my line with it is and it's just a personal line, right? Because everyone else is going to continue to do what they're going to do with it, right? There's no stopping the world from using AI. And that's, you know, that's just the reality of it. But for me, I don't use it for creative stuff. I use it to help me out with coding sometimes, just for time saver stuff that I could do and I know how to do, but like, you know, it could save me a good amount of time. And I also use it for coding stuff where it's like, I specifically wouldn't do this thing if it didn't do it for me. Like I said, so like the inspector scripts where like I'll write like a script and like a scriptable object or something, and it doesn't really look good in the editor. It is pretty good at like doing like the formatting and all of that, which is just like such the most boring, useless task to do, to spend a couple hours on formatting data in the inspector, which has nothing to do with the actual game itself. So you can think of it more of like making tools to help you make the game. That kind of stuff where it's like, I wouldn't do it otherwise. But, you know, if it's just a 30-second thing to make development easier for me moving forward, then to me that's like worth it. And then I can actually look at it and know if it's even the right thing or not. But other than that, that's pretty much all I've really ever used it for. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there actually is some things where I've hit issues, like coding issues where like very, very obscure like issues in Unity, and in shaders or like script, certain things where it's just like my understanding of something wasn't really good enough. Like for instance, I'm not like super great with shaders, and then like trying to search it on the internet and learn on the internet was like very, very difficult because it was such a nuanced or obscure issue, where I was actually able to like talk it out like to like ChatGPT and like get a better understanding and learn from it. And then I was able to figure, like I think it's good. I think it's a good tool for learning. I've definitely used it for that before. Anyways, I'm getting off track. But I actually think everything is good here. Yeah, the shadow stuff went really well. Let's take one more look at it just to see how it looks as we walk around. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. The kind of parallax is weird. Or actually, I think the shadow is like very slightly off center with the Ahigu, and I actually don't think it's off center with the Ahigu. I think the Ahigu is off center with itself. Because if we go over here, yeah, that's off center. Yeah, it's a little bit more to the right. Okay. I think it's just how the Ahigu lays on the ground. Yeah, its edge is actually longer on this side than this side, so it looks so the shadow, which is centered, projects further out from the side. Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah, you know what? I was thinking I should like reverse these guys sometimes, like their textures, because I feel like just for the sake of variety, but that probably would be a little, that could, it could cause some issues. So it's not like a super easy thing to do, but yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here and I'm going to try to bump it a little bit. .05. Let's see what that ends up looking like. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't. It's so weird. All right, let's see what it looks like. And if it looks good, then I think we call it on this task. I'm still streaming, but I think we call this feature, call it done. I think that's no, it still looks way off center. It's a little more center. Actually, let's look at this guy in the back there. It looks better, but it could actually still be bumped over a little bit more. Let's select him. Let's go 1.1 and let's take a look at what he looks like now. That's probably good. Maybe like a 0.8, 0.08. Split the difference a little. That's it. I think that's the one. I almost think that maybe even shrink it a little bit too. So 2.2. Yeah, I think that's a little bit more. 1.5. Yeah, okay. My allergies are getting to me. All right, so we bump it, we scale it down just a tiny bit, and we make this 0.08. Save that. All right, now for some reason it's like not taking the changes. So weird. Do you play games on your PC or just develop games? I play games. I don't get to play them a lot, but I play games on everything. I've got a PC, I've got a Switch, I've got an Xbox, I got a PlayStation. I definitely play games, but I definitely don't play games as much as I used to. And I spend the majority of my time making games than I do playing games. But every once in a while, I try to make the time for something. I played Expedition 33 this year, loved it. I don't know. I play games here and there. I'm trying to think what else I've been playing lately. I play them more casually. It's hard for me to like play an entire game. So like 33 was kind of an exception, where like I played through that entire game. Okay, cool. I like this. I think this looks good. I think that the occlusion that it makes is nice. It gives a little bit more. It makes the character stand out just a little bit more too. It makes it kind of blend with the ground a little better. And I actually really like the way it does what it's doing. So the game is on the wishlist on Steam. Yeah, no, I do have a Steam page. Wishlist definitely helped me out. So if you got a Steam account, I would definitely appreciate a wishlist. We are getting really close to 500, and 500 is it's getting there. They say you need 10,000 before you release. So, but 500 is better than 0. So I'll take it. And once I hit the 500, we'll be trying to go for 1,000. But they do come slowly, unfortunately. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. The Steam page is a little rough right now. I haven't updated it in a while, but I'm gonna do that eventually. Just a lot of things I gotta keep track of. Okay. Well, I think this looks good. I think I'm gonna call that there for the shadow bug, and I'm gonna submit it. Oh, I never checked in the wall stuff. I did. Oops. So we were checking in 2 features here. Added new walls. Oh yeah, it's controller support. Yeah, I actually only use controller at the conventions just because it's easier for people to come up and pick it up and play. I personally think it actually plays better on controller, but it plays just fine on keyboard and mouse too. I don't know. It has its trade-offs. I think it's fine either way. Decoupled shadow from a Higu. Oops. It'll look good. Add a new flat boundaries. Yeah, we got some new walls in last night. And they look pretty good. Yeah, so there's our new walls there. Start it up. Here, I'll show this real quick. I'll answer your question. Nope, it didn't. Took it away anyways. I think it's because it randomized it. There it is. Yeah, so we did new walls last night. That's what they look like here. I actually really like them. And there's like another version too. Without the highlighting. Yeah. So could you explain the community hub Discord and the website itself? Yeah, so I have a link tree that pretty much provides all of the links to all the different things. I'll just bring it up. I'll show off everything that I do for the game. So this is all my social media, all my community stuff. Yeah, so here's my YouTube trailer. I do YouTube. Oh, so basically what I do is I stream everything on Twitch, and then I turn those streams into reels that get posted on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And then I have the Steam page where you can wishlist it, and then the Discord server. The Discord server is just a place where I put notes about all the stuff I do. So all right, I'm in streamer mode. So here's my Discord here, and we have almost 100 people in here now. And I have people who try the game out for the, and then I actually share the builds so there's like, if people either sub to my Twitch channel or they subscribe to my Patreon, they get a role on here that lets them access this playtest download a channel here. And then you can just download the game and give it a try. And then I have a discussion area where people tell me what they think about it. And I also do the live alerts. And if people like are really into the game and they don't have the cash to like do the sub or anything like that, like that, y'all can just like message me and I'll just give you the playtester role. I usually just give it to anyone who enters the server anyway. Because I don't really care too much about that other stuff, but it's there for people who want to like support me. in that way. And I do like a dev diary thing too, so I will show off, you know, I'll do a little write-up of like the things I've been working on. Like here I showed the new enemy I was working on, and yeah, just that kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to build a community of people who are interested in the development of the game, seeing it grow, giving the feedback, and just to have it feel like, you know, everyone is kind of here to help it become what it's going to be. Just because, you know, it is mostly just me on the day-to-day, but I do hire out people here and there, and it takes a really long time. So while it's taking a very long time, I'm trying to make it a fun experience and productive experience for everybody, especially myself, where it's a lot nicer to have people who are engaged in what I'm doing and giving me feedback and all of that, and it's making the game dev, it's re-energizing me, you know, because I did this for years and I never showed anybody any of it. And okay, so all right, so let's look at what we do next. All right, so task wise, we just finished this one right here. To do tasks. We did that. No, it's done. Okay. All this stuff is to do. All right, what do we do next? There's the Bloodhaven teleporter. I was working on some of that today, so that's what we can do. So I'm working on the home base for the game, and I've called it Bloodhaven. And it's very, very simple and empty right now, but that's by design. It's going to be a hub that the character over the course of the game will add to, you know, so there'll be other NPCs in the world that they find and bring back to their to the home base, to Bloodhaven here. Then there's, you know, maybe I might do some environment prop customization, maybe. I don't know how deep I'll go into that, but there'll definitely be NPCs that come to your base over time. But right now it's very simple, and yeah, it's kind of the hub where you go between combat. So it starts out here, and then these things here are the things that we're going to use to teleport between, or rather fast travel between zones, between runs, and you hatch from them. So you move around in it and it explodes, and then you're born from it every time. This is Arip. He says, "Welcome to my safe place. I call it Bloodhaven. It's where I come when I want to be left alone." And that's it. And so the concept here is that you would go back here, and then this thing acts as the means to which you reconfigure your character or fast travel to somewhere else. So basically you'd come up to this and you would explode, you die, and then your blood would get sucked into the ground and you'd go somewhere else, and then you'd be reborn in another area, and that's how you fast travel, basically by just letting yourself die. And yeah, I feel like this thing's a little large. I need to update the art so it has depth to it, because right now it's just a flat texture. But I am kind of thinking there's a couple things. I don't want the blood to come down on that like it is. Actually, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. Environment, custom props, the blood pillar here. Okay. So somewhere in here is the feedback that happens when it dies. Yep, here we go. This is where we die. And I think we spawn when it explodes. There's gotta be a visual, the particle system that spawns. Oh, I think that's on the health component, actually. Health somewhere. Blood. Okay, blood loot spawner. Oh, interesting. It's been a while since I worked on this. Interesting. Blood loot. Oh, you know what I think it is? It actually auto spawn blood loot on death. It's actually unchecked. Let's take a look at this script and see what's going on. Something is telling it for that blood to drop on the ground, and I want to take it away. How can we design a game mechanic that adapts dynamically to a player's skill level without breaking immersion? I actually think about that all the time, and I think that's something that Expedition 33 did really well. Where in that game, you can go through the whole game parrying every single attack and just obliterating everything. You can play it hard and get to the end. Or you can really spend the time to just work on your character build, and you can never parry, you can never block, and you can still beat the whole game by just making your character really powerful. And that is something that I feel like is a good strategy for putting the difficulty in the player's hands through the way that they play the game by their own choice. So you don't really need difficulty as much when the gameplay mechanics provide different ways to play the game, that some are harder and rewarding and some are easier but still rewarding, and then you both get to the end of the game. And that is something I want to do here in pretty much a similar fashion, where I'm trying to break away from the whole concept of like the normal roguelite run. And so rather, when you die in this game in a run, it's going to ask if you want to continue, keep all of the things that keep your character configuration and your power-ups that you've collected during that run and carry on, but lose half of the blood, which is the main upgrade resource. Lose half your blood, or you can go back to base, keep all your blood, then do more global upgrades and then try again. Or you could just be really, really good at the game and you never even have to worry about death. But I'm trying to make it so that death isn't as punishing, but it offers you like this alternative route of, you can still beat the area that you're in even if you've died, but it's going to slow your overall progress. It's just a concept right now. And obviously I'll need to implement it and test it, but I feel pretty good about it. Oh, 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. So I was trying to investigate where the blood loot comes from. Blood loot. So here's the trigger blood loot. See, the funny thing is that's off. And so it's still coming from somewhere. Spawner. Pop. Unity events. We kill it. On death. Collider. All right, let's actually trigger it. We got a visitor. Got the other one. Hello. We got them both. We got both of them. All right, so that popped. Now let's see where this blood loot came from. Search for. See, this is where I would want to. I wish the Unity AI could find me where the like particle system. There it is. Okay, I found it. All right, so it did come from the blood pooler. Something triggered it. Something requested that it spawned the blood. But interestingly enough, it shows that the thing that should do that, I believe it's the only thing that does that, request blood. Let's search. Request blood. Who else does that? No one else calls this function. And then nothing else calls this. It is a public function though. Oh. Death feedback. Death feedback. Interesting. So there is something hidden somewhere in here. Oh, there it is. Trigger blood loop. We have to sneeze. Yep. Mother and daughter. The one with the collar is the daughter of the other one without a collar. So sorry, my allergies are like killing me today. I do not know why. They've been bad lately. I need to get my Flonase and some. Do I have my Zyrtec? I need medication. Yeah, I found Zelda, the mother, on the side of the road. She was abandoned and starving. She was very, very thin. And I took her in. And yeah, it's probably Zelda. No, I mean, I'm probably a little allergic, but no, I'm extra allergic lately. All right, so we're deleting this there. Okay, cool. So we'll no longer get that explosion. But yeah, I brought her in, and because she was so thin, I didn't realize she was pregnant, and she had just pretty much become pregnant because 9 weeks later, cats, it's 9 weeks, humans 9 months, cats 9 weeks. 9 weeks later, there they were, much to my surprise. Okay, so when I break out of this, yep, no explosion. Okay, but we still want okay, so there's a difference between what we we do still want a blood explosion. We just don't want blood on the ground. So the next thing we do is go to prefabs, blood, and gore pile explode. I think, is this the one we want? Let's play it. We are zoomed in way too much. Okay, yep, there we go. Yeah, that's what we want. All right, so this is the prefab that we can bring in, and we might as well just bring it in. Blood loot spawner right there. I don't know if that's actually where we want to put it, but we can pretty much. No, let's bring it in death. The death feedback. And let's zero out the position and raise it up. We'll put it there because that's about where it happens. And we want to make sure that play on awake is false. It's enabled. It's false. We just made it false. So we're going to go back to that death feedback, which is just the series of events that occurs. and we'll create a new thing here. We'll drag it in and say particle system play. All right. Now we should this time get the blood explosion without the blood on the ground. And that is the look we're looking for. How do you make players feel emotion through gameplay? I think you have to make them feel attached to something in the game, and then I mean, it will also depends on what kind of emotion you're going for, right? But I think you have to make them care in a certain sense. Okay, that was good. That wasn't bad. I think I like that. It's good for now. Here. But yeah, I actually just started getting into the story writing and all that in my game, so I don't know. I don't think I don't know if I'm not very experienced in pulling emotion out of my players yet. But it's something I think about, and yeah, I think it's something where you have to make them feel invested or feel attached to something, make them care about something, and then you do something with that thing that they care about, and that's where the emotion comes from. All right, one thing I want to try is actually shrinking this thing a little bit, because I do feel like it's kind of big. Like 75. There. 6.5. Let's see what that looks like when you start the scene, because the one thing about that is, will it I like the cinematography of like how I have the scene starting out where the pillar is in front of Arup, the character in the back. When it explodes, it reveals him and you see his silhouette against the red fog. I really love how I kind of set that up. And I would like to preserve that, so I might need to keep the pillar that size. Yeah, see, it doesn't do it anymore. And oh, interesting too, the other aspect of this is that the light from the pillar lights him up, but when it blows up, it all goes dark. So you don't, okay, so it is important that, I almost wonder what it looks like if I stretched it a little bit. Now it would warp the art, but I'm just curious if I kept it tall. Yeah, that doesn't look right, I don't think. Do you give the player the ability to do what he wants in the game, or is he a procedure to go through? I think a little bit of both. So like I'm, you know, going into this game, I would like to give as much freedom to the player to do what they want. You know, like a lot of it's based on the customization of the character, and every limb has a different ability. I think that really falls in line with giving the character the ability, or giving the player the ability to do what they want. When it comes to the zones, going zone to zone to zone, they can speed run right to the boss, or they can explore a little bit, grind a little bit, get more powerful. And that's going back to what I was saying before about putting in the player's hands the freedom to choose their difficulty through gameplay, where, you know, you can truly just go right for the hard ones. And he's like peeking out there. I forgot to move him. I'd have to move him a little bit. But yeah, oh yeah, that just doesn't look right. But yeah, and I think that, you know, I think I'm trying my best to give the player of my game the most freedom that I can. But there's also some things that, you know, you kind of have to funnel the player into a certain way, just to keep the game the way it's intended and designed. All right, I think what it'll probably come down to is changing the art on the base of this thing to kind of be more of like a scoop, so you can see the character when when the thing blows up. But I think for now I like what I've done with it, and like I said, I like how it all starts. You'll see it here. And you know, I consider my game spooky. I don't consider it horror, right? Like I'm never going for like a jump scare, but I do like to craft these scenes in a way that are like creepy. And so this is one of those scenes where I'm, oh, whoops, never mind. I kind of screwed up there. I forgot to move this back over. Also, where is the spawner? I feel like the spawner is not where it's supposed to be. Oh, it is. That's weird. All right, let's give it a try again. Yeah, this is one of those scenes where I'm trying to structure it so that it's a little bit creepy, where, you know, you're in this dark area and you're just this one sole like object. You know, like whatever it is, it's like some kind of weird egg, like viney plant thing that you hatch from. Yeah, so, you know, it kind of like fades in like this. I might bring the camera back a little bit so it doesn't like cut off the grass there. But then as you move in it, it's going to blow up. And then everything goes dark, completely dark. And then you have him in the back. It's just a little silhouette. And but then at the same time, like I said, I make it spooky. I also kind of make it a little cute too. So like this character, he's not really something to be taken too seriously. He's kind of like, I don't know, he's kind of adorable. Oh, I also need to make it so he can't move during this dialogue, which he currently can. But yeah, I think I need to redo this art here so it scoops a little bit more, so he's standing in the center when it blows up, and then there's a back there's another layer behind him, so it's more like this, and then there's like another layer here of debris. Cool. So, and then the idea, and this is the first time, off to sleep before I start talking my dreams. Have a good rest of your day and good night. El Chapo, thank you for hanging out and chatting like you always do. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the next stream. Have a good night, man. See ya. Peace. All right, so yeah, I do love this scene. It's very, very simple, but I do like it. Just the endless fog, and it's really just him, and you can light it up and you can see him standing there, but it's still it's a very spooky atmosphere here. I might make the glow here red. Actually, let's take a look at the light that's on this blood pillar, because I do think that it might benefit from being red. Let's see. Where is this light? Could be in the visuals. Destroyed visuals. There it is. Oh, it's yellow. Okay, yeah, we don't want it to be yellow. That's weird. It's always been yellow, huh? Okay, that's why it looked weird. Okay, I thought it looked a little strange because, like, it didn't quite look white. It looked, yeah. Because if it was white, it would be that. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Because it was weird. I'm like, there's still like a warmth to it, but it's not red, which was confusing me. But yeah, if it's red, there we go. So I think red light is definitely more on theme here. I am starting to realize though that we definitely need more occlusion on things that are on the ground, just like we did with the enemies. Might want to like try out some things. Hmm. Actually, let's just give something a try here while we're in here. Let's grab that shadow that we used for the character. Which I don't know where it is. Where am I looking? Appearance. There we go. Oh, it's not showing me what's from prefabs, shadow, texture. There we go. Okay. Let's pull this in and put it right on to blood pillar. We'll center it. Center it. Okay, there it is. And we actually got to bring it in under there. Center it again. Boop and boop. Okay, cool. Now we expand it like that. See, like there's like a soft darkening around it now. I think I need to start getting in the habit of doing that. Oops. Oh, this needs to be rotated as well. Wait, did I not? Okay. There we go. Yeah. Let's put it at 2.5 there. It's kind of a little too subtle. Yeah, you can't even really see it there. Oh. We didn't put it on the ground texture, that's why. Ground, there we go. 0.01. All right, so now when we move this, yeah, it's underneath it. Let's try to actually darken this thing up. There we go. Okay, now we can definitely see it. So this will be, we probably won't keep it that dark, but we'll use it to try to center it. All right, and now we can bring down the hardness of it. There. Yeah, I think it's probably good if we did something like this. Gives a little bit of depth to it, and honestly, I feel like it almost looked better when it was a little darker. Let's turn on a global light. Boop. Let's expand it a little. This thing definitely needs depth, new texture, but I like it. Like that scene's just a perfect square now with the full brightness. It's good at showing where the limits are. The boundaries. All right. Yeah, I really love this whole composition here because even when you light it up, there's still like the blotchy ground. Hey, you can see what time it is. It's time to no, she's just not there. She's just not there. Nope. She just ain't there. Where is she? Who knows? Where could Zelda be? Where could Zelda be? Yeah, I need to hook a sound effect. Oh, there she is. But there hasn't been any. There hasn't been a Pedicat coming through though. Hasn't been, or has there? Oh, there it is. There it is.
King Yamived just redeemed pet. That cat.
King Yami. Like the voice to text. King Yami. Oh yeah. Let's just bring this tower over here and yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're getting the pets. Come on, let's look at this cat getting pet. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a good one. Getting the scratchies. Yes. He's starved for attention. Oh yeah. He appreciates your channel points. You actually just caught me too, because I was thinking about ending the stream. Started early and gonna be ending early. Yeah, 2.5 hours. A little shorter than usual, but kind of just a little out of it tonight. Oh, wait, she's like, you gotta do the other side. You gotta do... Aw. She's a good one. She's a good one. Oh my god, Zelda, you have so much hair everywhere all the time. So much hair all the time. Oh, and you're drooling everywhere too. Why are you wet? Oh my gosh, I'm surprised the camera can't pick up the cloud of hair that's around her. Actually, it can. I can see it. There's, you can see in the camera the cloud of hair. Oh, okay, Zelda, that's all you get. All right, and actually, I am going to cut it a little early tonight. Oh, look at her looking so cute right there. That is a fulfilled kitty cat. She got her scratchies. Okay. But what am I doing? All right, here we go. All right. Those of y'all hanging out, chilling, thank you very much. I'll be back on Saturday. Like I normally am. But hey, we got some stuff done today, which was kind of cool. Always getting it was a productive stream. But I am ready to chill for the night and let my brain rest a little bit. But I will be back on Saturday, and I appreciate you all. And I'm a guy who gets stuff done. I be getting stuff done from time to time.